Welcome to the Manifest workshop on 19th August, and to all of us joining in the recording. Please make the intention of connecting with the group energies on this date tonight. Uh, so, today, before we start off, I just wanted to ask a little bit about what manifestation means to you, what you understand by it, the ones who are present here. Anyone wants to share? Because it's quite a buzzword, है ना हमने मतलब especially आजकल it's become a very big thing in spiritual work and self growth work. So there's a lot of misconceptions around it, and there's also few ideas of what it actually is. So I want to understand कि आप लोग क्या समझते हो. So Arunita, you tell me first.
I think it's personally, I think it's a way of converting your willingness as a tool to make your goals a reality, but also in the same breath learn how to surrender. I don't know if that
Hmm.
makes sense.
That makes sense. That's actually a nice, like you listed the components of it. I really like that. What about you, Vash?
Okay, for me, I feel, I mean, it's more like, that if there's something that I feel I want, like if there's something, if I want to tap into some feelings or emotions or tap into my goals and long-term goals, all of that, I just feel that deep down I have to really believe that I deserve it and I'm
Hmm.
worthy of it.
Hmm.
Not that I want it or I will get it, but to just believe that, I deserve it no matter what.
हाँ,
So that gives a lot of positivity, and that in turns I feel helps in manifestation.
very nice. So we've got it, that it's a tool of thought, and we've got that we need to surrender. And you said that we also need to feel worthy. So self-compassion, that's nice. Nikki, do you want to add to it?
Yeah, I think I agree with both of them.
Mhm.
I also think that for myself, I think it's something that, uh,
Can you be a little louder? I think.
sorry,
Uh,
I said that I agree with what the both of them said.
hmm.
Um, but I think also for me, it's something that is sort of a goal. And, when you say to yourself that you're manifesting it, then it's also something that helps you stick to your goal of sorts.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um, so, yeah, I
yeah,
think.
that's also very nice, insightful insight. So I'll just share my screen now. Let me know if you can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all of what you said is the other few components of manifestation. It is also something that we need to work on. It's goal oriented. We need to work on it every day. It's not, it is magical, but it is not like you wave your wand and it'll happen. Everything that you want will happen. Right? Okay. So, welcome to today's workshop. A little bit about me is that I'm an Arhatic yogi trained by the World Pranic Healing Foundation. What that basically means is that I do energy work for my clients through the gifts that I have of clairsentience and clairvoyance, which is basically the ability to feel emotions that are beyond my own and also see things in the energy world. So, using these, I help my clients one on one to repattern their thoughts, help reprogram their deepest subconscious. And I love working with humans and animals, and I really enjoy my work. Okay, so now coming to what is manifestation. The crux of it is that we shape or create our reality with a special focus on the state of our mind. So what Vash said about feeling worthy is completely very very important in our goals, because अगर हम goal form कर रहे हैं without actually feeling the importance of that goal, and without feeling why we need that goal in our life, and without feeling worthy of that goal, it will be so difficult for you to manifest that goal. You will spend years and years struggling to achieve that goal. You will achieve it, but the process will be so slow because you'll be working through the blockages, through feeling the worthiness of that goal, it will take a really long time. And if you read the message that I shared for this workshop, it was one of my favorite messages. It said that human beings are the magicians of our reality, and what that means is कि हमें like हमारे अंदर power है to create anything and absolutely everything that we want. But to tap into that power, we need to feel worthy, right? We need to have that state of mind that this is the goal that I have and this is why I need to achieve it. And then your goal will manifest in like really fast. Seconds. I was going to say seconds, but not seconds. It will take some time. But if you work on it in a bit, it will manifest really fast. This actually, the seconds bit reminds me of one very small exercise. So you can just make a note of this. It's just a fun exercise right now. Just write down any color that you want to see in the next like few hours of this day. So just any color and just write down, like it doesn't have to have any meaning, nothing. Just write down whatever color you like. Okay? And when you're done, just give me a thumbs up. Even the ones who are in the recording, please do this. Okay? Okay. So I'll get back to this a bit later, like why we did that. But I want you to make a note of whenever during this time, during our workshop and otherwise, where you notice this color, right? Just keep an eye out, but only in the back of your mind. If that color comes up, just be like, huh, okay. So the second point is that manifestation is not a technique. तो जो buzzword है आजकल कि ऐसे करो तो ऐसे होगा, write this 10 times, you will witness this happening, it'll become reality. That is not manifestation because it is a little forced, right? Anything which is forced cannot help, your mind will sort of try to resist it. That is just the nature of things कि हमें बोलते हैं कि अच्छा ये देखो and we don't want to see it, या कि अच्छा ये करो, you have to do it, so we, subconsciously our mind is like मेरे को नहीं करना. That is why so many of our goals which we have, we keep resisting them. Like on the surface हमें लगता है कि हाँ we really want this, but on the deeper side of us we're like नहीं चाहिए, there's so much negativity associated with it. ऐसा किसी को होता है? Like, do you resonate with this? You feel like you have a goal and बहुत time से you just sort of resisting it. है ना? ऐसा होता है. Okay, so ठीक है. So why I say it is always happening is because it is shaped by our thoughts. So if we start to believe कि अच्छा मेरे को सुबह उठ के वर्कआउट के लिए जाना ही जाना है, because if you have a reason for it, if you have, the feeling of that, you are worthy of that goal, the feeling of, acha, this is why the goal is important to me, then it will happen very easily. But अगर हम अंदर से resistance दिखाएंगे and we are not trying to reshape that thought around that resistance, then it will not happen. So, which is why we need to constantly monitor our thoughts in a manner that is very gentle, very compassionate. So, how manifestation changed my life? This is just a little bit of a vision board that I tried to create for everyone to see. Ki there were small goals that I was working on, on my own, and all of these manifested within this year, except for the dogs picture. So I'll come the pets picture. I'll come to that. So most of you know. Ki I was not always a healer. I was never planning to do this professionally either. And how this happened in my life was a little bit of manifestation and a little bit of divine intervention, which is key. This was a path that I was meant to walk down, and things happened in my life in a way that I was able to manifest at least the starting process. Now I had to work each and every single day towards this goal to make it a reality into my life. So the first picture is just me signifying that I became I changed my profession. The second picture is me doing somewhat of a split. It's not completely 180-degree, but so this is extremely fascinating to me because जब मैं बच्ची थी तो मैं split नहीं कर सकती थी. And I was a very active kid, but I couldn't do it. And now I didn't plan it in a way, but in the last few like months before I could do it, I was planning it. But I worked on it every day. I worked on it with the goal in mind ki this is, I used to have a lot of pictures that I used to see a lot of yoga people showing their how to do splits, and that also makes a huge impact on your mind, right? So visual cues are very important. So that's why I put that there. I manifested this. I also wanted to manifest those very picturesque looking people doing yoga in the forest type. मैंने कभी plan नहीं करा था, वो भी हो गया. So that picture is that. And one very fascinating thing I was also telling someone else the other day is that all of the pets in my life have, like, I have manifested. I have never bought any pets. We had never planned to get them. We always wanted them and we always loved them, my family and I. But हमने कभी ऐसे जाके परचेज नहीं करे थे या किसी से पूछा नहीं था कि ये पेट कैसे लें. It was people, we sort of put it out there that we love pets and we want them. And even Bella, she was actually adopted from another relative of ours who wanted to give her away. And Kovi, my cat, she was the daughter of one of the stray cats who had just stumbled upon into my house. And even her mom was someone I had manifested because I was going through a very difficult time in life. And I said to God, I was like, God, I need you to send something or someone or anything which will help me believe in the goodness of life again. And her mom came into my life very randomly. So that is also a very, cute thing that I feel like I manifested. Then this sunset picture is just from a trip, and the other picture is from a workshop. So this is an offline workshop that again I really wanted to do it at some point, but I didn't know how or I didn't know how I would plan it, but I knew that I wanted to do it. So the first step was just to sort of, write down my desire and the feel of like why I wanted. Right? So all of these things are basically proof that you can manifest anything that you want. And that's what I wanted to make a point with this picture. So the neuroscience, any questions so far? If you have any questions, please just just start speaking actually, because it's just a few of us. So no questions so far? ठीक है. So the neuroscience behind manifestation is also extremely interesting. When I was doing this research, I got so fascinated with it. I spent hours behind it. But there is a system of neurons, a network of neurons in our brain stem, the part of like behind our neck. If you can see this part, right? Can you see my mouse? Yeah, this part. This is the brain stem. So this is here says reticular formation. What happens in this part is basically that whenever we think about our goals, right, in a positive manner, हमने लिखा है suppose let's say morning में, and if it's something as simple as having breakfast, हमने morning में लिखा है कि अच्छा I need to have, लिखा नहीं सोचा है I need to have breakfast. It is so wired into our brain, like the reticular activating system is the system which is responsible for making that neural pathway that helps us gather our thoughts and like make the observations that are related to our desires. So for example, if the desire is something as simple as कि अच्छा मेरे को breakfast खाना है, because you've been doing it for years and that neural pathway is so sort of set in stone, it will be very easy for you to observe what food you can eat and eat it, right? And if it's something like I need to make a presentation on uh, digestion, right? Like that is an idea you've just been introduced to. It will not be so easy for you to get ideas. You'll have to like, you know, put your brain through that process of understanding and creating those neural pathways that allow you to grab onto those ideas. And the moment you do it after whatever activity you've done, you will start noticing different things life में कि अच्छा हाँ ये तो इसमें से है, ये तो इसमें से है, related to your goal, right? So it's something very similar. So what the reticular activating system does is in manifestation, when you have written down your goals or when you have your desires in your mind and you're very absolutely clear about them, it filters whatever information you're seeing visually, through hearing, through shows, through people, whatever interactions you're having. It filters all of that information and it sends the right information to the right path. So, for example, if you have a goal of, let's say, doing a split, right, as an example, the moment I'll see any exercise or I'll see something on YouTube or I'll see some show where a person is doing yoga or exercise, I'll associate that with my goal. And that makes the process of me achieving my goal a lot more simpler because I can relate to the world through that goal of mine. Right? So that's what the this system does. Now, the next part of what this is that clear? Do you have any questions about that? Okay. The next, also the people who are watching in the recording, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me and please do so. Okay. Okay. So the second one is that your beliefs and impacts regarding these particular goals. So जैसे I was saying ना कि हमें जैसे अच्छा ठीक है सुबह सुबह गोल बना लिया कि भागने जाना है. If in the morning I am waking up and I'm like, oh my god, bhagne jana hai. I can't. This is like the worst thing ever. My brain will release cortisol, which is the stress causing hormone, and I will associate that goal with something negative. Now, tell me, does that make it easier for me to achieve that goal or more difficult?
More difficult.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And the more often we keep doing this, we are forming that neural pathway in our brain, which is associating this goal with something negative. And the more you keep doing it, it keeps setting itself in stone. It keeps ossifying itself. So reprogramming these things takes some time. And the same thing is in the opposite way. So if you start doing something with a very positive, like if you start thinking of something in a very positive way, it will form that pathway that you're like, acha, haan, this is amazing. So for example, if you say ki acha, for someone who's very like a fitness freak and is like, okay, I need to um, I can have a goal of having junk food or eating out twice a week. So that will release dopamine in our brain. We'll be like, "Ha, theek hai. That is a nice goal to have," right? So that's how it is associated with manifestation. Now, this last bit is related with physics, quantum theory in particular. It's called the observer effect. And what happens in this is that when there's an experiment, I forgot the name of it. It's called like a double screen experiment, I think. And what happens is they observe the function of light, and they notice कि जैसे they observe, the light changes its function from a wave form to a particle form, or vice versa. And what this basically means is in any science, not just quantum physics, but in even in neurology, even in like normal when you're talking to people, the moment you start observing things, the behavior of those things changes, right? Like for example, if we, let's say in physics we're observing the movement of current, अगर हम उसमें एम्पियर और वोल्ट मीटर डाल दें तो it will change the output a little bit because of these things that we've put which are observing these currents. And in human psychology, when we, let's say when you're talking to a therapist and you know that the therapist is observing you, you will speak in a manner or you will say things in a manner that sometimes subconsciously will influence the way you want, the therapist to look at you. So this is what the observer effect means, and how it affects manifestation is that जब हम अपने ब्रेन में एक डिजायर या गोल डाल लें and we keep observing the world and our own thoughts with regards to that goal, it it influences the outcome. Like it could positively influence it or negatively. But the goal of manifestation is to influence it positively in a manner that will help us reach our goal. So, any questions behind it? the neuroscience behind this. Okay. The next is the spirituality behind it, and that's a very small thing, so I'll just say it. Uh, in our sessions, I've talked a lot about how each and every single thing in the universe has a certain frequency. है ना? Like even today, why I do these sessions on full moon is there is a lot of divine power, there's a lot of energy that is coming down on earth, and it makes whatever intentions we have on this day, it sort of heightens them. It's not like it will completely like transform everything in the whole universe without us making any difference, any action, but it does have a impact, positive. So in the spirituality behind manifestation is that जो हमारे thoughts होते हैं, we start attracting things aligning to those thoughts. So if our thoughts are saying that, okay, I am not worthy of this goal, then we will continue not feeling worthy of that goal. Right? That is why we'll take longer to reach that goal. We might take years and years. You know, does anyone resonate with this? Or am I just like throwing information in the dark? Yeah, you relate? Okay.
Makes sense.
Huh.
Yeah. Sense.
Okay, so the spirituality behind it is basically this, that whatever we put out, we attract the same frequencies. किसी ने law of attraction पढ़ी है? Yeah, The Secret. Or have you heard of it? है ना?
Yeah.
It's the same principle. Okay. So now coming to the crucial components of this. Before we start this exercise, I'm just going to stop presenting for a bit. I want you to just close your eyes and take a deep breath. We'll do like a 2 minute sort of silence just to think about what your intention is for today. You obviously came here wanting to learn some new information, possibly helping some goals that you already have. So just take a deep breath and allow this information to flow through you. And as you exhale, exhale out any blockages, any tension, any stress that you've stored throughout the day. And we'll just invite some insight, whatever insight we want today. So the power of the full moon, so the power of our spirit guides, so the power of our angels. Think about the goals that you want to achieve within this year, the goals that made you want to learn about this workshop. And even if they're not very clear, if you're not clear of your goals, just think of it in an abstract way. Just say, may the right goal come to me with clarity. And as if with every exhale, you're decluttering your mind, removing all obstacles from this goal. Focus on that one goal. be in any sphere of your life, your health, your career, your relationships, any personal habitual goals, any knowledge goals, any hobbies, anything. Just focus on the most important one. And our spirits are sending us the energies to convert this goal into power, to convert this goal into reality. And the first step is knowing this, and know this with full certainty that you will achieve this goal. And with a big smile on your face, as if you've already achieved that goal, you can open your eyes and write down this goal in your notebook. And when you're ready, when you've written it down, just give me a thumbs up. Okay. So now just look at your goal, and we'll be discussing the components of manifestation. So I'll take you through them one by one, and I want you to look at your goal through these lenses. Okay? So I'll just share my screen again. So first, we'll look at the intention, whatever goal you have set. I want you to think a little bit about the details of that goal, right? What is the goal? Why do you want to achieve it? And what is the timeline you want to achieve it in? So since I discussed your most important goal, uh, notice if you can achieve it within 2024, or otherwise, if it's a long-term goal, you give it a timeline. And be you need to have a balance of being realistic with it and at the same time knowing that you'll work on it. So putting like a timeline which is also not too far off into the future. If you want, you can share some goals with me and I can give you an example or help you with it. So maybe I'll take the example which I've talked about later, which is setting up a vegetable garden, right? Uh, in that goal, if I have first, it's like acha. If you have a very abstract goal, it's like acha, I want to learn a new hobby, which is gardening. Now, how can you be more specific? Acha, I want to mainly grow vegetables. Why do I want to grow? Because I want to use fresh organic vegetables in my food and feel the earth and soil in my hands, and it gives me a lot of peace and happiness. So that's why I want to do this. I also want to share my produce with my friends and family and neighbors. That will give me a sense of joy and a sense that I'm contributing to society. So that could be the why. And a timeline could be that, okay, I need to I want to do it within, like, I want to have at least 5 plants by the end of, 3 months. 5 plants which produce at least like 10 fruits or 10 whatever vegetables. So, whatever details you can put, whatever details come to your mind, just write down those details with regards to that goal, right? Now, second component, as you keep doing this, I'll just let you know, it is very, very important that that goal be very authentic to you. It's not something that someone put in your mind. जैसे होता है ना कॉलेज में kids don't want to do engineering sometimes, but parents are like engineering कर लो इंडिया में या डॉक्टर बन जाओ या लॉयर बन जाओ. It has to come from you. It has to come from your deepest desires, your most authentic self. Sometimes हमारे गोल भी ऐसे ऐसे होते हैं कि अच्छा हाँ मुझे प्रमोशन चाहिए इस जॉब में, which is a good goal, right? Of course, it's a good goal, but it's been in a way programmed by society ki you promotion means you are progressing and you're successful in life. But if it's a job that is not aligned with you, or if it's a role, even in the same company, not aligned with you, then that goal becomes inauthentic to you. है ना? So we want that the goal be very authentic to you. So if you have any doubts कि कैसे authentic करते हैं उसमें, you can ask me. I think one question to ask yourself is whether or not that goal is authentic, is to ask yourself कि if I achieve this, how will that make me feel? And if it's a feeling of like happiness to show others versus happiness to show yourself, then that's how you'll know it is authentic. When you achieve your goal and no one is around to watch it or know about it, and you still feel very, very happy, then that's an authentic goal. Okay, now coming to the limiting belief. Think about what are the blocks that you might have told yourself regarding this goal. Jesse, I was talking about the promotion wala thing. So maybe you have told yourself you're not worthy of that promotion. You don't deserve it because you've not worked enough, or you don't deserve it because you are not as knowledgeable enough, or not hardworking enough, or you are all of those things, but people don't recognize you for it. And a lot of times I feel that. So recognize what are these limiting beliefs and write those down as well. If there's something that has come to your mind, ki, haan, this is a dialogue I've been saying to myself a lot, and it has limited my growth, it has limited me from reaching this goal, write that down. Sometimes this is also very fascinating. If it's about money, uh, you write ki, haan, I want to be this rich, but one of the limiting goals will be how you see people who have reached that goal, who are that rich. You might be thinking sometimes subconsciously हम ऐसे सोचते हैं कि अरे यार अमीर लोग ना पैसा वेस्ट ही करते हैं, उनको स्पेंड करना नहीं आता या they don't do anything nice with their money. So even that is a belief that limits your potential to reach that goal. Right? So how do you see yourself when you see that, when you reach that goal? It should be a nice positive outcome. Anybody need help with this? Okay. If I'm going too fast, you can also pause, okay? You can tell me to wait for a bit. And for people who are watching the recording, you can pause. Okay. So the next step would be to rewire these blocks. And what that means is if I'm saying I want to get this much money, but most of the people who have this much money waste their money. Or जैसे मेरे को ये promotion चाहिए, but people who have this promotion don't behave like this, and that is, not very good. So how you rewire that? First of all, identification of that block is very important, which we did in limiting beliefs. But there'll not just be one layer. There are usually so many layers, right? So even if you identify the first few layers, that's good. Now, how you rewire is through meditation, through hypnosis, through cognitive behavioral therapy, through neuro-linguistic programming. These are different techniques. We'll in today's session be doing meditation. Right. Personally, what I found best is what works with me and my clients is meditation and hypnosis. That's how I help them. But these rewiring also depends on what is your learning style. If you're an audio visual learner, if you're a auditory learner, like depends on what works for you. So it's good, like the first step is writing what your limiting beliefs are, and we'll address these again in the meditation. So keep them in mind. Now, and again, one of the very, very important things is letting go. I was talking about this with another friend of mine, and it's so, so, so important. We don't pay enough attention to it. जैसे हमारी लाइफ में suppose give me an example, someone, about something you want. I want to use a new example. You can make it up.
I want to get back to learning classical dance.
Okay. So let's say we have this goal of learning classical dance. We need to, अगर हमारे टाइम में, and suppose हमारा one of the most limiting beliefs is we don't have time, right? And we are doing other things in our life which is taking up our time, but we are not willing to create space or create more time. We need to let go of anything in our life, whether that is habits, whether that is like waking up late or sleeping late, whether that is interaction or a lot of social obligations that we go to that we may not want to, whether that is um, like anything that you feel is blocking you. I think one of the biggest things is time, right, for us. So you need to let go of those bad habits and create more space for good habits. So you need to let go of, let's say, if sleep schedules is a bad habit, you need to let go of that so that you can form a new routine, right? You have to create space for something new to come into your life so that you can accommodate this goal. Does that make sense? है ना? And one of the other examples that comes to my mind is relationships. Uh, if we are, stuck in certain relationships where we don't enjoy those relationships as much, but we say we want something better, but we're not willing to let go of those relationships, whether those be friendships or whether those be like platonic or non-platonic, we have to be willing to let go of something in order to create space for something new to come. It's a very difficult process and it does take a lot of work, but it's very important. If you don't let go, then you will not get those new things which will help you attain your goals. Okay, so next, role models. Again, very exciting bit. And what most people don't talk about is that it's so important in our lives to have role models who have achieved the goals that we want so that we have something to look up to. Now, do you have any people in your lives related to your goal who like you look at them and you're like, if they can do it, I can do it? Yeah. No, right? A lot of times, sometimes we don't have. And we also don't recognize the importance of it. It's something that I recognized very recently, actually. Uh, yeah. Okay. So it's very important to find those people. I'll give an example. I read about this actually. There was a person who was very, very scared of driving. and she was a decent driver, but she didn't think so because she didn't drive very often. And she saw a person who used to drive every day very horribly and almost like getting like scared for her life when she sat in the car with that other person. And